Hi friends, thanks for joining me today for our art lesson. I was inspired by the Todd Parr book called Be Who You Are. I just loved the different colorful characters that he had in there, and everybody looked unique in there. So I had an idea to make a self-portrait. So to make this, if you have the Todd Parr book, that's great. If you don't have it, that's okay. You can look it up online for ideas for what some of his pictures look like. Or if you watched my video reading you the story Be Who You Are, you can get some ideas. So to make this, you'll need some paper. Thicker paper is better, but regular paper will work too. We will be painting, so the thicker the paper is better, so then it doesn't get quite wrinkly. And then I have a paint palette here. This was just a cheap paint palette that I got from the dollar store. I have two different sizes of paint brushes because you want to have one that's quite thick and then one that's a little bit more thin for painting. And then of course when you paint, you need some water. So that's all you need, just paper, paint brushes, water. And if you want to have the Todd Parr book handy to look at, that's a good idea too. Okay, so first off, to get started, we are going to start with our thicker paintbrush, okay? So you're gonna get your paintbrush wet. Now when you're painting, friends, the more water you have, the lighter it will be, and the more paint you have, the darker it will be, okay? And when you do a paintbrush, you don't want to make your paintbrush really flat like that. You want to keep it pointy like that, just like a kind of pretend that it's a marker, right? If you make it flat, it's not nice. So we're going to start off by doing our head. Okay, so a nice big round head, and just like that. And if it's not quite dark enough, you can go over top of it again. You don't want too much water because it will get really watery, but if you want to make it a little darker, you can kind of do a second round there. Mine's dripping a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, so if it's dripping, that means I have too much water in it. Okay, so now I'm a happy person, so I'm going to give myself a happy face. Okay, and in the Todd Parr books, the eyes on his people, they're just two little dots. So we're just doing two little dots for eyes. My paintbrush is really wet, so if I just kind of brush it along the side of the cup like that, it gets a little bit of the water off, or you can use a paper towel or something if you'd like. Okay, so I want my eyes to be just a little bit darker, so I'm just going over top of them again. Oops. Okay, so now you need to do your body. Lots of paint. Okay, we're just doing the body like that. So Todd Parr's drawings are always really simple too. Okay, so those are the black parts. Maybe if you have glasses, you want to add some glasses onto yourself, but this is kind of the starting point. So now you want to let this part dry, okay? And then, so you might just want to take a couple minutes and let this part dry, and then you can pick your color. I'm going to start by doing my shirt. So I really like light blue. So I'm going to pick my blue and paint my shirt. Now I didn't rinse my black off very good of my brush, so I'm actually going to switch my brush. Keep that one for the black brush. Let's try that again. I want lots and lots of paint. The more paint, the darker your color is. If you have too much water, it's not as nice. Okay, and I don't like this color, so I'm actually going to add a little bit of the dark blue because I think it might show up a little bit brighter. Oh yeah, that's way better. So you're going to paint. So notice how I'm not squishing my brush too much. I'm going strokes up and down, like that. And it's not spreading out, so I'm gonna have to add a little bit more water onto my brush. And go right to the edge. Now I'm getting a little bit on the whiteboard. When you're painting, it's a really good idea to put some newspaper or maybe a placemat or something underneath you. So if you get a little bit off the edge, then it's easier to clean up, okay? And you can go over top when you're painting. You want to make sure you fill in all of the white spots, friends. Now, in Todd Parr's books, the other thing that I like about his books is so silly. Does everybody have regular skin color, or do they have silly colors for skin? That's right, they have silly colors for skin. So I'm going to make my face pink. So here's my pink on my palette, and remember, in between colors, you need to rinse your brush. Now I can tell I didn't rinse my brush very good because some of the blue's coming off, so I'm gonna swish that really good. And you can change your water to get an adult to help you change your water, because this part's dry now, so now I'm going to paint it. It's important that you let the black part dry before you do this, or else you're gonna smear your eyes and your mouth, and you don't want to do that. That one's dripping a little bit. So now I have my shirt painted and I have my face painted, and it's time for me to do hair. So I turned to this page just for some ideas of hair. So maybe you want to make your hair curly, maybe you want it spiky, maybe you want this wild hair, maybe you want hair that flips out a little bit, maybe you just want hair on one side. So you get to decide what your hair is. So you'll need the black for this next part, because we do the outline first in dark black and then we color it in, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna choose to do kind of the flippy hair. Okay, so that's my hair on the one side, and then I get to pick a fun color to color my hair in with. And you want to make the area that you're painting nice and big. If you make it too small, it makes it really hard to fill it in, okay? You want it nice and big. And so I'm just going over top of it again because I like that thick black look. Okay. Now I'm going to let that sit for a minute to dry. Okay, now this part's dry, so it's time for me to color my hair in. So I'm going to pick a different color. Remember, we're not doing the color that our hair really is. We're going to do fun colors. I'm picking purple for my hair. And remember, you don't want to go over top of the black because the colors will mix. You just kind of want to go in the middle part. Okay, so I have my face, I have my body, I have my hair all colored in. I filled in all of the white spots. So now we're going to pick the background color, okay? So you can pick any color that you haven't used. So far you've used 3 colors, so pick any color that you have not used for the background because you want it all to be different colors. If you choose a different color for the background, then it pops nicely. So I'm actually gonna choose, what color is this? Yellow. For my background, and I want it to be really dark, so I'm going to do lots of paint and a little less water. Be careful when you're going around the edges because you don't want the colors to mix, okay? So go ahead and fill in your background, and you want to go all the way to the edges. It's okay if it goes off the page because you can wipe that off, okay? Okay, so I have my background painted. I like to, when I'm finished, I like to go in and just see if I have any spots that I need to fill in. So there's a couple little white spots here. Maybe I want to go around the edges. Make sure you got right to the edge of your paper. And that's it. And then once this dries, maybe you want to write your name on there somewhere. All good artists always sign their work. So thank you for joining me today for our Todd Parr self-portrait painting lesson. I'm looking forward to seeing your paintings. Maybe you chose to have some different kind of fancy hair, different kind of fancy outfits for your drawing. Thanks for joining me, friends. Bye.